The better you make your first project for a client, the more likely you are to lose money on it. And I know it sounds backwards, but let me explain why it's true. Most freelancers think the job is to do great work or impressive work, but that's not the job. The job is to make the work sustainable. Great work is just an entry fee. Your business, your freelance business, lives or dies on what you don't do. The employee mindset asks, how good can I make this? The freelancer should ask, what does this actually need? So in that moment when you land your first client, you don't quite know what they value yet. You're trying to figure it out. So automatically, you probably do what feels safe. And then you go above and beyond the brief, add more than what's necessary, deliver something that you can be proud of. You're just trying to impress the client with how much you can do. And it works because often they're happy. You tell yourself they'll appreciate this extra effort, but what you're actually doing is setting a standard that you can't sustain. When you deliver more than expected on a first project, the client doesn't think they went above and beyond, aren't they great? They think this is what I'm getting ongoing. And that becomes the new normal. So now you're locked in, same rate, same expectation, but you're spending more time than the job pays for. And now you're thinking, I can't deliver less because they think I'm cutting corners or I've gotten lazy. And with every project after that for this client, you're working harder just to stay at the same place. So the better you perform at the start, the deeper the hole can get. And this is the part that kind of catches people out. A lot of freelancers, I see it all the time. It's kind of like if you wanted to get your body fit, you go to the gym for the first time, but you don't know quite what is enough work to do on your body. So you try everything. You push yourself as much as you can. You go exercise bike, treadmill, rowing machine. You try all of them. And you get through it and it feels good, maybe in that moment. But the next day, you can't move your body. You didn't just overtrain, you made it unsustainable. You didn't move forward, you just made it harder to ever go back. This is what most people don't say out loud. Freelancers don't fail because they're not good enough or not talented enough. They fail because the way they make the work isn't repeatable. If every project takes everything out of you, even if you get a great result, it's not a system, it's a problem. So when I started freelancing as an audio editor, I used to go all in. I'd get the audio, I'd try and clean up every little imperfection. I'd go as far as cleaning up every breath because I thought, that's how I did things back in my job. You'd have enough time to work on everything. So every inhale, every tiny sound, hours of it, I'd send it off and the client would come back. Sounds good, thanks. So no mention of all the extra detail, no extra value perceived, just done. Most of what I was adding wasn't even being noticed. And this is a pattern I saw over and over again with more freelance clients. You think about a great chef. The greatest chefs are not the ones who add more. They're deciding on what to leave out. And that restraint isn't laziness, it's experience. They've cooked hundreds of steaks. They know where the line is. And the chef who adds 20 ingredients to a beautiful steak is never being impressive. They're actually just ruining it. So stop asking yourself, how good can I make this? And start asking, what does this actually need? That is the skill. Think about the last time you got in a taxi. What did you want? To get there safe and to get there on time. And that was the whole job. You didn't care what music was playing. You didn't care how clean the dashboard was. You didn't care if you knew a shortcut you'd never heard of. Safe and on time. And everything else is invisible until that's done. So now imagine the driver spends the whole journey telling you about their sound system or the custom air freshener that he's imported. You're not impressed. You're just hoping he's watching the road to get you there on time. And that's what clients feel when freelancers lead with their skill instead of their reliability. So you sit down to start the job and think, what else can I add here to make this look impressive? And that is the trap. That's a massive trap. Because here's what clients actually notice. First, did it arrive on time? Was it easy to open, watch, read, use, whatever the case may be? That's the first filter. If it fails there, nothing else matters. Second, does it do what I asked for? Is it clear? And can I use it straight away without more back and forth, no friction? Third, did it match what we discussed? Did it solve the problem I actually had? So what are the things they requested, they actually said that was valuable to them? Are those things included? What they don't notice is the next levels. The extra polish you added, the version you didn't send, the hour you spent on something they never mentioned. And here's what actively costs you. Skills you wanted to show off based on your experience. Things that felt impressive to you, they were invisible to the client. So the voice in your head that says, but what if they notice I didn't do this? That's the ego at work. And it's sitting at the bottom of the pyramid, costing you time, margin, and energy on every single job. Most freelancers don't fail at the top of this pyramid. They get buried somewhere in the bottom. And that's what's making them super unprofitable. And that's why it's not sustainable for them to keep freelancing. So before your next project starts with a new client, map out exactly what your client needs. Create this pyramid and then cut about 25% of it intentionally. So if you edit video, maybe you don't need to color correct every single clip. If you design, maybe you don't need to explore 10 directions. And if you write, maybe you don't need to rewrite every line 3 times. Look, you got into this business because you're good at what you do. But good work alone doesn't make a sustainable business. And I think that's where freelancers fall down. Freelancing doesn't reward people who do the most. It rewards the people who can keep going because they know what to leave out. If this was useful, you'll want to watch this video next, where I talk about why most freelancers are chasing bigger numbers, but bigger numbers, bigger prices don't often mean profit. I break down why a $50 project can outperform a $400 one and how to start thinking about your income very differently.